Named Raven, one of the coolest characters in Tekken 8 free, and he also happens to be one of my mains. Unfortunately, he is also at the bottom 5 of the most unpopular characters in Tekken 8 according to ranked statistics and high level representation as well. So why is this the case? So we've talked about Leroy being underused, we've talked about Steve being underused as well at high level. So now let's talk about my boy, the code named Raven. So this is coming off the back of the Esports World Cup, which was like super hype again. I can't get it off my head. These matches were so good. They were so good. It was so hype. Everything a Tekken player can wish for. And this tournament gave us so much character representation. We saw Yagami's Reina, hella cooking, Alisa, we saw Zafina, we saw Claudio, Dragonov's. We saw so many characters, but unfortunately, not everyone made the cut. Characters like Paul were missing out, characters like Asuka were missing out, and Raven happened to be one of those characters. So now what is a cause of Raven being underused in Tekken 8 or in Tekken in general? Raven, to be honest, has been unpopular since his arrival to the Tekken franchise. In Tekken 5, he wasn't really... I think the only time Raven was very popular actually was Tekken 5, because since he was a new character, he came with that Blade vibe, and Blade was a very popular movie at that time. Ever since that, Raven hasn't quite hit the same heights. We saw Tekken 6, he had low usage rates in Tekken 6 as well. Came Tekken Tag 2 and he was actually like bottom 5 as well, least used characters. Come Tekken 7, they actually gender swapped my boy. Oh my days, the atrocity. How could you, Namco Harada? God damn it. Gender swapped my boy, introduced Master Raven, who happened to be a flop as well, guys. I hate to say it, but yeah. So we're back in Tekken 8 and we seem to be in the same situation again. Raven, bottom 5 least used characters according to a list rank statistics. So just why is this the case? So I've covered this video before, but I wanted to talk about Raven after the updates. He did receive quite a number of buffs and quality of life improvements. So you think to yourself, this character would be in a better place if he received some good changes, right? But it's not the case. Raven is still as underused as ever. So firstly, it comes down to the initial vibe of the character. Raven, aesthetically pleasing, is a very cool character. He's weeb friendly, like he appeals to the weeb fan base. Anime lovers, if you love Shadow Clones, you love Naruto, ninjas, that kind of thing, then Raven will vibe with you. He doesn't really vibe with most of people in terms of like being, the ninja gimmicks kind of character, so that makes sense. And on top of that, he's also a very complicated character to play. Raven is a very difficult character to play and master. When you pick Raven up, you just don't know what the hell to do with this character, and this was the same case for me in Tekken 8. I actually decided to pick Raven in Tekken 8, like actually pick him up and main him, and man was it difficult. It was so hard with this character. I had to put in hours, I had to put in time just to vibe with him, just to start flowing with the character. And once that happened, it completely changed the perspective of how I see Raven. Like, I see this character in a whole new light, and I'll get into that later. So he is very complex, so much complexity, the whole back turn stuff, having moves in back turn. Doesn't really have very strong frame data because he's a mix-up heavy character. His crouch dash is also a high-level skill that you need to master. So he has so many complications. He's so complex that not everyone can just pick him up and do work with him. Why pick up Raven? You just pick up a Dragon or spam running to pick up a Victor. All these easy characters that do massive amounts of damage and have super good plus frames. Raven does not have that. You actually have to put in work, figure the character out, study the character, and put in the hours for you to get the most out of him. So that to me makes total sense as to why he is not really popular, whether beginner level, intermediate or high level. And this doesn't just apply to Raven, right? Characters like Zafina. Zafina actually goes through the same thing. She's very complicated, doesn't appeal to everyone. Zafina is another example of a character that's pretty cool. Like, she's a very loved female character aesthetically, right? But like, not many people play her because of her complexities. She's just all over the place, right? It takes a lot of time. It's something they both face in this game, and that leads to like low popularity numbers as well. And they're relatively new characters. You can't compare them to like someone like Xiaoyu. Xiaoyu is like an OG since Tekken 3. She is as complicated as someone like Raven. I think even Zafina, maybe they are as complicated. She also has AOP, she has backdown as well. But Xiaoyu is very popular because she is an OG. Hwarang is complicated, complex character, you need to put in time, effort, but he is an OG Tekken 3, right? So Raven suffers being relatively new, Tekken 5, Tekken 6, and Zafina as well, and they don't get the same treatment as these other characters do. In terms of strengths, character strengths, guys, I don't like underplaying my characters, downplaying my characters. I think you know this by now. And I think for Raven, and I've said this multiple times, it highly depends on the person playing the character, the driver. You piloting Raven, you decide how good this character is. Raven in the right hands is an absolutely S tier character. And I'm not even gaslighting my main. I don't think it's an overreaction. I do think this character at the highest of levels is a problem. This reflects back to Master Raven back in Tekken 7. Everyone thought she was a low tier character, almost everyone was putting her in low tier until Pinya and Go Attack showed up and just absolutely cooked everyone with that character, and now everyone seemed to gain some respect for Master Raven. And I think it's the same case with Raven. It's early, guys. This game isn't even 1 year old yet, and there aren't many Raven players at high level. So I think to be the same case in Tekken 8 as well. Raven will take quite some time until people get used to him, figure him out, and just know exactly where to place him on the tier list. As to whether he's better than Master Raven, I'll actually make a video on that later. But I do think he is a better character in hit. Raven was an overall character without hit, like just overall she was better, but Raven is a better character whilst in hit. I'll talk about that later though, and why I don't actually like Master Raven and why I prefer Raven. So another example I can give is Bobby, right? There was a tournament that happened in Australia, I think Sunny Side Up was what it's called, and we had a Raven player in grand finals actually against Rest. And if you guys know Rest, he is no joke, one of the best ranked players in the world. This Raven player absolutely cooked. He cooked. Now, unfortunately, he didn't win. It actually went to, I think, last final game, like last game and final round, if I'm not mistaken. I will cover this match. I haven't watched the entirety of it, but this man absolutely cooked. I think he even sent Rest to the losers bracket. Like, I was so shocked. Just some random Raven player I've never heard of, but this man played out of his mind, and I can't lie, I actually enjoyed him more than I do Pinya. I don't know, there's something about Pinya I don't fully like. No disrespect to Pinya as well, one of the GOATs, you know, one of the best Raven players. But I just felt as though Pinya kind of chokes or crashes under pressure. So when I watched Bobby and what he was doing with Raven, oh my days, oh my goodness, this man was cooking. He used Raven perfectly, using all his tools, utilizing his heat and all that, and it was just beautiful. So this is what I'm saying, we aren't getting that many Raven players at high level, but in due time, the Ravens will start popping up. I want to see Go Attack traveling, I want to see Bobby traveling as well, and just show us what exactly Raven can do. Just like Kazuya, everyone was talking shit about Kazuya even after the buffs, but Keisuke showed up and showed what Kazuya could do. There aren't that many high level Kazuyas despite the character being popular, so it doesn't really matter if the character is popular or underused. It just depends on someone showing up and showing what the character can do. Like Yagami with Reina as well. Everyone is putting respect on Reina after Yagami's performance. So it's the same case with Raven. I think Raven just needs time. People will show up and put this character on the map. I think he's a good place. I understand his low popularity numbers in terms of ranked. He's a very difficult character to play. Why would you use someone like Raven for ranked when you want to, when the character is like Dragonov, they can just give you easy points, right? Unless you absolutely love the character and don't really care about tier hoeing and tier lists, you are not going to play Raven over someone like Dragonov. That's just the case. Fighting games, that's just how it goes. Only the loyalists bring the best out of this character, and honestly for me, I don't really mind, and I think a lot of people understand this. Raven is just in a certain, he's just a niche character that appeals to a very specific fan base, and you will never find a bad Raven player. It's either they're hella good or they're just about to be good. It's rare to find like a very bad Raven, because Raven really requires dedication. He requires you to play the character for hours, put in time and effort to get the best out of him. So what do you guys think about Raven in Tekken 8? I know the comments have been going crazy, man. Like, everyone loves downplaying characters, dude. There are very few positive comments talking about how strong characters are, like Steve and Leroy. Oh my days, people just focus on the negative and don't focus on the positive, guys. Not every character can be Dragonov. Not every character has to be Dragonov. A character must have strengths and weaknesses, and honestly, when Dragunov gets nerfed, when Nina, Yoshi, King, when these characters start getting nerfed, other characters will start showing up. I say that about Shaheen, and look at Shaheen now. Shaheen is up there on the goddamn tier list. Jin is popping up now, right? So this will just get better as these characters get nerfed, and that applies to Raven as well. Ravens will pop up when these other characters start getting nerfed, and I have a feeling Raven is about to get like more buffs. I don't want him to be broken. I just want him to be respected. I want people to acknowledge that Raven is strong, but right now it's unknown. Even TMM didn't know where to place him on the tier list because it's like not really sure because of the Master Raven effect that happened back in Tekken 7. So what do you guys think? My Raven mains, I know I have a bunch of Raven mains in my subs now. My tutorial is doing good. My Raven videos are doing good, pulling in numbers. So talk to me, my boys. What do you think about our agent, or a cool ass ninja character? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, please check out my other Raven content, and GG my boys, and take care.